Greetings to you. Bishop Tucker here again. Sorry about the lads chanting in the background. They have to practice for tomorrow's Sunday's services, The churches are reopening. Anyway, it was a lovely day for a stroll around the castle today. I thoroughly enjoyed myself checking out the grounds in the grotto. And anyway, I promised you a story, so here goes. There was once a young lad was angry at the world. He never had a good word to say of no one. And one day his father came to him and said, "Son, why are you so angry?" And he says, "Father, I do not know." He says, "But I just have to be that way." And his dad says, "Well, son," he says, "I'll tell you what." He says, "You can be as angry as you like." He says, "Here's a box of nails and a hammer." He says, "What I'd like you to do is every time you get angry and say something cross to someone," he says, "why don't you just take and pound a nail into the fence down there at the end of the yard?" And he said, "Okay, Father." He says, "I can do that." So he came to realize a few months later, after pumping in several hundred nails, that it was easier to watch his anger than to put the nails in the fence. So he finally reached a day where he had no nails in the fence and was very proud of himself. So he came to his pup and he said, "Daddy," he says, "I have good news." He says, "I have never put a nail in today." He says, "This is the first day." So the lad's dad took him down and looked at the fence and said, "Yes." He says, "Son, I'm very proud of you." He says, "And now," he says, "what you should do is every day that you learn to hold your tongue and not insult anyone or be angry with anyone," he says, "take one of the nails out." So another several months went by, and he finally pulled all the nails out. And he was so proud of himself. He called his pop and he says, "Hey," he says, "could you come down?" He says, I want to show you." He says, "I cleared the fence of all the nails." And his father came and looked and took him by the hand and gave him a large hug. And he says, "You did wonderful, son." He says, "I'm very proud of you." But he says, "Do you see what you have here now?" He says, "Yes, Father." He says, I have a fence with no nails." He says, "Yes, but look at the scars that are there. They will never come out. They're always going to be there." And he says, that's much the same that happens when you're angry with someone and you say something in anger and cross words that you probably don't mean. But that's what happens. The scars are always there. You can cover them up, but they never go away. And the young lad finally learned his lesson. And I hope that this message found some cheer to you and you took some heart to it. It's just a wee thing that I heard years ago when I was a wee friar hanging around with Robin and Marion. Robin was very wise. Lord Loxley, he had very, very good smarts about him. He really did. Anyway, I hope to see you all next time. Perhaps we'll tell another story. I don't know. It depends on whether the Queen allows me some free time as we're getting back to normal, hopefully. And I wish you all good things and hope to see you next year. The grounds really missed you this year. They really, really did. And all kindness and health and happiness to all of you. And have a great year if I don't see you until next